Love to you and your loved ones. Alright, two things I used to talk about a lot that I haven't been, but I want to rehash that because it's way more relevant now, and it's also why I'm excited about these times. As much, um, as crazy and potentially worrisome these times are, I'm excited because these two things that I've been talking about for a while seem to be coming true, and so that's exciting because all of this stuff was really like what, like people wouldn't believe it, but now they might have to believe it. So the two things were that we're going into a new age, like on a mass level, humanity, the earth, you know, is all going into a new age. And the other thing was this civil war thing. You know, both of these things seem crazy, right? But so the ascension, or we're going into a new age, earth and humanity is going into a new age thing, I've been talking about since 2012, because the Mayan calendar reset. They said it was the end, but it's not the end. It just reset. You know, it's a cycle. The big hand of the Mayan calendar, which is, I don't know, tens of thousands of years probably, at least many, 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 many thousands of years, we went back to zero. And people were like, nothing happened. Doesn't work like that. 2012 to 2020 is nothing. And you probably cannot say that we haven't had drastic changes in society since then, right? At least just this year, right? You can't say 2019 and 2020, a whole new world, unlike ever since we were alive, right? There's never been a more drastic change from 2019 to 2020 like any other time in our lifetime. So this is evidence to me that all this talk that we're going to, it's a purification because, you know, we're getting rid of the old, and so all of this crap has to come up, and you have to go through that drama before you can get to that higher level on as far as society. And the reason supposedly, actually, there was a NASA article in like 2008 or something where it said that we're flying into a highly charged part of the galaxy. I think it's the photon belt. The galaxy's spinning, so the outside edges are going to have more photons, right? Because it's like a donut spinning. We're flying into that highly charged part, the belt. Or what, if it's not the belt, whatever. We're just flying into a highly charged part of the galaxy. And that's what the article said in 2008, before anything happened, before the Mayan calendar thing. And at the end of the article, it said, we should be having some really interesting times. And when you think of 2020, it's pretty hard to deny that it's an extremely interesting / WTF, extreme changes. And so that's what's happening. I'm just saying, it makes sense, right? If we're flying into this highly charged part of the galaxy, it's activating us. So on an individual level, we're getting activated. Our karma is coming up. People are getting more. People that haven't dealt with their issues, the issues are coming up, and they are, you know, acting out in negative ways. So that's why I had this Ascension program that I had on YouTube, where it's like clearing the bottom three chakras so you can get rid of all of this primal crap, and so you can move on and not have it forced out of you through this highly charged part of the galaxy infusing into you. And you know, all this stuff sounds crazy, but just look at what's happening. You can't look at society. Like, society is acting out we're getting activated. And so when you get activated, it could be, if you're on a good one, then you're going to be activated and feel really great. If you're on a bad one and you get activated, right? Depends what's inside. You can activate good or you can activate bad depending on what is inside. And so society's bad is coming up. And so that's the one thing. This whole we're going into a new age. And sure, seems like it's happening. And then the other thing is that we're having a civil war. And America is the battleground for the Civil War. That's actually about the whole world too, though. But the Civil War is happening in America. It's the battle is being fought here. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's open war where people are fighting and shooting and bombing, but it happens in other ways. The media, manipulation of social media and the media, and other ways. Wars happen for the most part nowadays in other ways. Trade wars, you know. So they try not to have open wars anymore, except for in the Middle East, because they don't want to destroy infrastructure. So they have wars in other ways. You know, economies and blah blah blah, and but I will say that this is important. First of all, America, even astrologically, I just posted that video. It's saying that we're going to be going to these possibly into these aggressive, intense times from now until the end of the year, because of Mars and Aries or something, which is aggression, possibly aggression. It's also change and, you know, probably purification and stuff like that. But it's also aggression if there's the dark side of it. Maybe it was creativity and things like that. But then if it manifests, the shadow of it, it would be aggression. So just think about where we are now with lockdown and the riots and the protests, and then if it's going to get more aggressive by the end of the year, you know, that just doesn't seem good, you know, from a normal perspective. But it's important. It's needed. We need this. This is going to be the catalyst for us. And we have a choice. Are we going to keep doing this old stuff, or are we going to move on to something better, a new world, a new humanity? Okay, and then this is interesting, and very important if it happens. There is talk from the alternative news that there's a good chance that the military is going to be in the streets in America. Now that sounds bad, but allegedly this won't be a bad thing. It probably will be more of a keeping tabs on the relatively bad people, the evil people. Our choices are basically evil and bad, and so the evil people are, well, you know, I'm just putting these labels out there just to make it easy. But things have gotten so unconstitutional that the military is going to have to go into the streets, and that's what I'm hearing, which is unconstitutional, but it's so bad that it's going to come to that. But yeah, it won't be like a police state kind of a situation, because that's the first thing everyone's going to think about when the military goes into the streets. So just, you know, that's what I hear. And so that's good, because as soon as you think of military in the streets, you think of police state and it's all over. But supposedly, the whole police state and control, like getting to a China level, would be supposedly more going to happen if Trump doesn't win. And that's what I hear. So he's the outsider, And so everyone else, it's going to just be the same old machine. And it's not about him, Trump, being all great and everything is great and perfect, because he's part of a gang. You know, he's part of a gang too, and you have gangs fighting gangs to control the world, basically. So that's that, and I'm gonna read you a couple things. Corey Good, you know, and he supposedly has all talks to these higher beings, like, or ETs and all this stuff, and you don't have to believe that. Just listen to what he says. It's really good. Forget all that. Just listen to the words. When I talk to the Anshar about the people going crazy, and he's talking about nowadays, you know, they said, "Oh, what a wonderful opportunity." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? Opportunity?" He's like, "These people are hurting each other, you know." You know, maybe talking about the riots and drama going on and the police, you know, stuff like that, you know, killing George Floyd. I don't know what he's exactly talking about, but this is something he said recently. And she said, well, all of their inner issues, karma, are coming up, and they're given an opportunity to deal with them and release the energies associated with them, or to succumb to them. And this is only going to increase. Your consciousness is also, I put a little nice ending, something he said that was a positive thing. Your consciousness is also expanding right now. Every time you learn a new truth and you drop an old belief system, your consciousness expands. You're ascended. That's what ascension is. It's not when you start phasing out of this reality. You know, it's not some, people think, once again, light switch. It's not Mayan calendar, one day everything is cool and then all of a sudden it's a new world, or the world has ended, or, you know, I am a third dimensional being and then ascension, now I'm a fifth dimensional being or fourth dimensional being, you know. It doesn't work like that. So, okay, one more quote. All evolution occurs through stress. These problems that we're creating for ourselves. Interesting, right? We're creating for ourselves to use as a catalyst to grow. We're creating all of these problems that we have to solve that will expand our consciousness in different ways. We are all the same one infinite creator having a different experience, and each of these experiences are just as important as any of the others. And so he's saying this because the person was talking about these evil people that are trying to control the world or whatever, and he said, quote unquote, God doesn't care if you want to be quote unquote evil. You're still just an expression of God. You're just another piece of consciousness experiencing whatever it wants to. And God, quote unquote, omnipresent God, will learn from that, or he's just tying it all, whatever. God is tying it all together, and it's just experiences. That's it. This is a non-duality thing. We don't need to look to the skies for a savior. We need to save ourselves. All right, so that's it. And lastly, I'll just say, though, that's why I made this Ascension program on YouTube. And so my point is, right now, face your crap, face your issues, do what you gotta do to face your demons, because the stuff is gonna come up anyway, but it's gonna be forced out of you. And society is going through the same thing, so expect that. Expect the purification. The purification is already happening. But the more you purify on your own, it's better for so that you don't have to do so much purifying and going through drama, you know, when you do it on your own. So it's very important, you know, at the end of the year, new year, years from now, I'll make another video and we'll really see. It seems like it's already happening, so there's evidence of this, okay? civil war and that we're going into a new age. All right, peace.